Mathematics and war tactics. My paper longer than your street status. You going backwards. I'm really hot. These lines don't bring back no catfish. And when they picked me up, I spun them niggas like the Jacksons. Leg, wing, and thigh, we break a chicken down a fraction. I'm vivid and I'm valid. I done seen it, been around it. Did my dirt with a chemist suit on to stay about it. Oh yeah, we about to cook here. A blue stove and a pink one. His and hers cookware.
Yes, the music is by Lord Brunson. Go to the top line of the description to go check out his full catalog. Hey, man, if you're interested in promoting your brand, business, or talent on Hip Hop News Uncensored, email advertise@hiphopun.com. That's advertise@hiphopun.com. We're standing by waiting for you right now. Get your product, get your business, get your talent in front of 4 to 7 million people per month by advertising right before each video that we do. Now to our regularly scheduled program.
Sure.
Yesterday, a video came out, man. An old video from 2018 of Dababy, and it was an incident that happened in Walmart where he actually killed a young man. And at the time, he beat the case, and he was pretty much saying that it was self-defense, and he won the case. But this video comes out by way of Rolling Stone, right? And everybody's pretty much saying that he was the aggressor. Like, his story's falling apart about him being, the innocent person in this one. It was self-defense. Let's start there. We're going to talk about that, Meg. We'll go all the way down the line. But let's start with that one, man. What do you think? Do you think there's now an attack on Dababy to see? This is like 4 years later. Now this video comes out. So this video doesn't come out in trial. It comes out now. What's your thoughts?
It's no question that somebody's out to get him. There's no question about it. But this is what I will say. It's not like he's not bringing it on. And the reason why I say that is, and I forgot who we were talking about, but we talked about this early on in the podcast. I think it was even Meek. You start bringing that attention around you when you in court and you dealing with this and you dealing with that over and over and over and over and over again. Eventually that shit catches up to you. And we seen what happened a couple weeks ago where he had the home invader. He didn't ask for that. Brought it on. He shot somebody. It was what it was. Then he gets into a fight with his artists.
Artists, yeah.
Seen what happened at Coachella. It's just time after time after time, Dababy's name is coming up in a very negative light, and he seems to deflect and beat it, but then he does it in a very arrogant way. And this is kind of like, okay, you think you are untouchable, dude? We will bring something up that you thought you beat and slap you over the head with it again and get you going. Who this person is, and I'm talking about, I don't know, dog, but I think that there's definitely somebody out to get him, and I think it's based off of his act prior to all of this stuff all of this stuff coming together and boiling up in a pot and it boiling over.
Yeah, I think, it's his demeanor, then the people that he offended, that time. I forget what concert it was. It was probably like sometime last year. And then after that, he started losing sponsors, and, a lot of venues said they didn't want to deal with him, and it seemed like he was actually getting himself back, and on track. And now this comes out. So it's no doubt that it's someone or somebody, that's trying to. The image is important, and the way people view you is very, very important. And it could, mean millions of dollars being either won, gain, or $1 million lost. So I just think that, when people start to, like, even let's look at the Will Smith thing. Let's talk about that for a minute. Like, he's losing opportunities. Ultimately, it might not hurt him because he's at a level where it's like he ain't got to work another day in his life. But, somebody coming up in the game, like a Dababy like that, they could snuff him out. I was talking earlier. I'm like, yo, you can't run around with that whole T.I. persona, because they even humble T.I. to a certain point, even though he says what he says. It's just something about, the United States of America. And I'm not saying he can bring some of this stuff on himself, but it's just a certain attitude that they allow, it seems like, a certain type of character that they want to ascend, more so to the top. And then it's like when you get there with that, it's like, all right, something has to come up to tarnish this person's legacy in the media. The media is important.
It's very important.
The media, I mean, you could look at wars and stuff. They use media propaganda, you know what I'm saying, to get people to turn people's thinking around certain things and demonize one person and make one person look like a god. So it's very important when you see stuff like this coming out 4 years later to tarnish someone's image, in my opinion.
Let me ask you this, because this first off, this video is nothing new. The video was seen by prosecution in the defense and in court. I'm sure this ain't the first time they saw it, and he was found innocent and innocent of all charges of self-defense. Right? Does this change your point of view, seeing this new video of what we assumed was self-defense at that time?
For me, no.
Okay.
Because for one, it's parts of the video where you can't see what's really going on. Like, the first time that they engaged each other, was that the first time, or was that the first time we seen it?
Right.
That they engaged each other. Maybe he punched the baby 3 or 4 times. I'm just speculating before that. You know what I mean? And then the baby comes out from behind the view, and they start fighting. They get into a scuffle. The baby pulls out, you know what I mean, the gun and shoots him. Possibly that could be the case. Now, if you're sitting up here telling me that what's on the camera, because remember, they had witnesses there too. They had people standing around. So I tend to kind of side with the baby more so on this, because like you said, all this stuff would have been in court. It would have been witnesses that would have said this and said that. And then the whole stand your ground thing, that's sketchy too. Because it's like, all right, was your life in danger? Yeah, it's like he probably could have felt like his life was in danger. If you fighting somebody, you got reason to believe that. But again, those angles, I'm giving him the benefit of doubt because of the angles. But if I go off what I just seen that night, it looked like he was definitely the aggressor. But the parts off of the camera that we didn't see, I don't know what happened.
Which makes you really wonder who's out to get him, but who
Right.
got that piece of footage, because there's also a piece of footage out there, and I haven't seen it personally, but I heard a lot of people talking about it, and I heard it was in court as well, so it's out there, is the dude's boys had guns as well.
Oh.
And that was seen by the baby, which also ultimately made him feel like he had to do what he had to do for his life. Don't quote me on that. I've seen people talking about it. I haven't seen it with my 2 eyes, but I think that was an important piece of the footage that we didn't see either. So it was a lot of missing pieces that we just can't ultimately assume, just because now the baby's image is getting very sketchy and very tarnished, that this is bang, look. And because, I mean, people having conversations and this is all they see and this is all they know, it don't look good for him. And it's
Why would you think they would want to destroy him, though? If you had any reason to think that, why destroy the baby out of all people? He's not Will Smith. He's not, Denzel. He's not nobody like that.
because he keeps coming up on their radar. I think it's, and I think it's like, and it's not like it's almost like a Meek, but it's not like a Meek,
right?
Because he's not getting locked up, but he is, in the light too much to where, all right, you getting too much negative attention, Negro. Why can't you just take your money and jump around and do your rap songs and shut the fuck up,
right?
Now, you know what I mean? He's in the headlines for fighting. He's in the headlines for shooting. You know what I mean? It's the second person he done shot and got away with, dog. Like, I don't give a fuck how long it's self-defense. You ain't gonna be in a public light as a black man knocking people out and just getting away with it, dog. Like, so.
Yeah.
And then he, on some personal shit,
right?
He hit his damn artist. Like that dude could have information, and I'm not saying that he is, because we don't know the dude, and I'm not saying that at all, but you rubbed the wrong elbows the wrong way, and you got information out here where people can grab onto and just stir something up. You never know. Enemies are created. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I think it'll be more so like, because he's like a loose cannon. He's liable to say anything, and I think they really cracked him with the whip when he made that little statement. But it didn't seem really harmless to us, but obviously it defended a group of people.
Yeah.
I think when he made that statement, they're like, oh, nah, not this. Like, we can't have no more of these type of dudes running around thinking they could say and do what they want when they want because they got a couple of dollars.
Right.
I think it almost goes deep to like, it's a profile. Like, how players come out, the NFL, and they got psychologists that look at them and try to get like a profile, what type of person this is, like, because they don't want to draft someone or pick someone up that has, that possibly one day can turn into a Terrell Owens or turn into one of those type of guys who just going to go off. They kind of want this docile, guy who's going to be a professional but not really speak out and go against things. And because they always say, oh, he had a character issue or this, that, and the third. Why? Because he was outspoken. You
remember Larry Tunsil when the video came out of him the day of the draft of him smoking a bong, and it took him from the number one pick to 13.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And now it's legal everywhere. It's just like they can grab anything to tarnish your image.
Yep.
Just like that. And I don't know.
Speaking of tarnishing images, let's talk about Tory Lanez, man.